Hello and welcome back to Explain the Charts, your go-to channel for no-nonsense technical analysis. Today is October 1st, 2025, and we are doing a deep dive into Litecoin or LTCUSD. There is a fascinating and dangerous divergence happening right now between the news and the price action, and we're going to break it all down. First, let's cover the news, because the fundamental narrative for Litecoin has been overwhelmingly positive. We've seen a constant stream of headlines about a potential spot Litecoin ETF, with Canary Capital having filed an S-1 with the SEC back in late 2024. Market sentiment is incredibly high, with some reports suggesting over 80% of investors are betting on a Solana and Litecoin ETF approval this year. This ETF buzz is being fueled by real institutional interest. For example, news broke that Titan Partners Group is helping add over $100 million worth of Litecoin to the treasury of a Nasdaq-listed company. This is a massive vote of confidence from institutional players. Furthermore, we've seen ecosystem support from Litecoin's founder, Charlie Lee, and key partnerships to enhance security. Some analysts, buoyed by this news, have even floated price targets as high as $160. However, other reports have highlighted bearish trends and what they call indecisive price action throughout the year, which certainly rings true when we look at the chart. Now, let's pivot to that chart and see what's really going on. Looking at the full daily chart for LTCUSD, the word indecisive is an understatement. I'd call it violently volatile. We saw a massive run-up in late 2024, peaking at nearly $150 in early December. This was followed by a significant crash that found a bottom around the $50 mark in early August 2025. That $50 to $56 area now stands as our most critical long-term support level. Since that August low, we've been in a recovery phase, but it has been a tough fight for the bulls. The price has struggled immensely with the $85 to $90 zone, which has acted as a powerful resistance area multiple times this year. More recently, price rallied throughout September, climbing from the low 60s to a peak just above $71. However, this is where the chart tells a frighteningly different story from the bullish news. The last two daily candles, for September 30th and today, October 1st, are massive bearish candles showing a violent rejection from that $71 resistance level. On September 30th, the price dropped over 3.5%, and today it has plummeted another 5.3%, wiping out weeks of gains in just 2 days. This is a classic bearish reversal pattern, signaling that sellers have taken firm control at this resistance. Let's zoom in on this recent action, starting from the beginning of September. As you can see, the rally through September was steady, building a series of higher highs and higher lows. It looked constructive and likely fueled by the very ETF speculation we just discussed. The price pushed right up to the $71 level, but failed to break through. The subsequent sell-off has been incredibly sharp, slicing right through previous support levels. The immediate support to watch now is the low of today's candle, right around $62. If that level breaks, there isn't much clear support until we get back down to the early September lows around $60, and then the critical long-term support near $50 to $56. To understand the intraday action, we would typically look at a 1-hour chart. The hourly data we have access to today is from mid-September, but we can use it to see how Litecoin behaves on these shorter time frames. Here we can see a period from September 11th into the 12th. Notice the sharp drop that occurred around midday on the 11th, where the price fell from over $116 down to $113 in just 1 hour. This kind of sharp, sudden volatility is common for Litecoin and often happens on news events or broader market moves. After the drop, the price entered a period of consolidation, trying to find its footing. This illustrates how quickly trends can shift intraday and why managing risk is so important. Now let's look at the 15-minute chart, for which we have more recent data covering the end of September, right before this major drop. This gives us a fascinating look at the market sentiment just moments before the reversal. From September 26th through the 30th, the price action actually looked quite stable, even bullish. You can see Litecoin grinding its way up from around $104 to over $107. It was consolidating near the highs, holding its ground and giving no immediate indication of the massive sell-off that was about to occur. This is a stark reminder that a market can look strong right up until the moment it isn't. The sentiment changed in an instant, which is why the higher timeframe charts, like the daily, are so crucial for seeing the bigger picture of resistance. Returning to our daily chart, let's synthesize this information into a clear bullish and bearish case. The long-term bullish case is almost entirely dependent on the ETF narrative. If a spot Litecoin ETF gets approved, it could unleash a wave of institutional capital and send prices soaring past the previous highs of $150. The on-chain fundamentals and institutional adoption news provide a solid foundation for this potential. For a technical confirmation, bulls need to see the price reclaim the $72 resistance level on high volume. However, the short to medium-term bearish case is currently much stronger from a technical perspective. The price has been rejected hard from a key resistance level. The momentum is clearly to the downside. The immediate risk is a breakdown below the $62 support, which would open the door to a full retest of the major support zone between $50 and $56. This action shows that despite the positive news, sellers are currently in control of the market. So, to recap everything, let's outline the most important things to watch. Our key support levels are the immediate low at $62 and the critical zone between $50 and $56. Our key resistance levels are the recent high at $71 to $72 and the major multi-month resistance area between $85 and $90. Now for some unbiased predictions based on the current data. Given the powerful bearish reversal candles, I believe there is a 65% chance that we continue lower to test the $62 support in the coming days. A break below that would reinforce this bearish view, making a test of the $50 to $56 zone highly likely. Conversely, there is about a 35% chance of a bullish reversal from current levels. For this to happen, we would need to see buyers step in forcefully, creating a strong bullish candle and preferably get some catalyst in the form of positive ETF news. The main thing to watch for is any headline related to the SEC and the Litecoin ETF applications. This will almost certainly be the primary driver of the next major trend, regardless of what the charts say in the short term. Stay vigilant, respect these key levels, and don't get caught on the wrong side of the volatility. That's all for today's analysis of Litecoin. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to explain the charts, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Trade safe, and we'll see you in the next one.